Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, dear students. Our course title is Vocational and Career Counseling for Special Children. Today, I am going to deliver you lecture number 6. The title of this lecture or the topic of this lecture is Career Development. In order to understand what is career development, first we have to get the clear understanding that what is career. So the definition of career according to Oxford English Dictionary, a person's course or progress through life. It also pertains to his occupational or profession that usually involves special training or formal education and is considered to be a person's life work. Career is defined as that it progress through the life of a person. In career, all occupational and professional activities include. Every career requires some special training or formal education. It means you get education according to your expected career, because every career education is different. For example, if you want to become a doctor, then your education direction is entirely different from a person who wants to become an engineer in the future. So it's progress through life of a person, and we can say that it is a person's life work which he has to do after the completion of his formal education throughout his life. Now, after understanding the career, we will discuss what is career development. Career development is an ongoing process of gaining knowledge and improving skills that will help an individual to establish a career plan. Development words is always used for the progressive change. Development continues throughout your life. There are different aspects of development. For example, if you see physical development, cognitive development, social development, psychological development, it continues to progress throughout your life. So when we talk about the career development, it means the continuous development in your career. It is an ongoing process. Whenever you join a career, you always seek or gain knowledge about that career and always tries to improve your skills so that you become a functional member or you can grow in your career development, or you may establish a good career plan for yourself. Now, the immediate questions which comes into our mind is why career development? Why career development is necessary for today's generation? When we talk about today's generation students, so they don't have any plan for their future. They follow by a crowd. They choose by influence of others. They accept the parents' verdict or decision by force. They get tempered by current trends, jump into any career, lack motivation, fail to discover their lives, and they live in a fantasy world. As I am also a teacher, whenever I took my first class, I always ask questions about the aim of the students. And I always get these types of perceptions that they didn't come in that field with a pre-planned career choice. जब भी पूछा जाए जी क्यों आए, अम्मी ने कहा था, अब्बू ने कहा था, या अगर स्पेशल एजुकेशन की बात करें तो मोस्टली स्टूडेंट्स जी इसमें जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज ज़्यादा है, सैलरी पैकेज अच्छा है, इसलिए हमने इसको ज्वाइन किया। बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं जिन्होंने बड़ी मल्टी जो है वो टास्क की होती हैं और बड़ी ही मुनफरद जो है वो उनकी डायरेक्शंस होती हैं। एलएलबी भी किया होगा, एमए उर्दू भी कर रहे होंगे और एमए स्पेशल एजुकेशन में भी एनरोल्ड होंगे। तो आजकल के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं इनकी जो है वो करियर काउंसलिंग जो है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। If we talk about the current trends of our students, then we can find that their focus is lost. They put their efforts to increase quantity. They think that if they got a number of degrees in different ways, in different fields of education, excuse me, so it will create a great impact on the selector. They don't know that their perception is totally wrong. If you have different degrees and you have a number of different programs, knowledge, then it doesn't create a good impact. It basically shows your haphazardness, that you are not planned, you are not clear, you don't have any clear direction about your future. Number 3 point is survival of the fittest. If we see the current trends, then the only fit person can survive in the current scenario. Less influenced by parents, teachers, etc. To be a successful person, you should decide your career by yourself according to your interests, abilities, and capabilities. You shouldn't get influenced by your parents and teachers, etc. If we see current trends, then the big loss we see is the increased ratio of dropouts. When the students joined a field which is not according to their abilities or interest, they don't give their best performance in that field and ultimately they face failures. Checking quality in products such as food and clothing, but not education. You always prefer to wear the clothes according to your choice. You want to take a food which is your choice. But when we talk about the education, the students get influenced by others. They get directions from others. They ignore their abilities and they adapt a line which is not according to their abilities. So if we are selective about our food and clothing, then we should select our educational field very carefully. Increasing competition. In today's scenario, there is a big competition. If you want to join a profession, you should be very up to date. Otherwise, you can't compete the current situation. Effort to increase quantity. Students mostly put their effort to increase the number of degrees, to increase the variety of different programs, but they totally ignore the quality of their education. Who are responsible for all these things? Students themselves, parents, teachers, schools and colleges, or the society, the government. Because we say that there is no direction, they put their effort in increasing quantity, then who is responsible for all these? Students themselves? If we look into the parents' contribution in all these things, it's most of them. If we talk about the teachers, not everybody. If we talk about the schools and colleges, then majority of them contribute towards these types of mistakes. Society, government, and people who have knowledge, who achieved success but forgot others. It means those persons who achieved success, they must guide others, they must contribute something for others, and mostly those persons who can create their influence on others, they should contribute for the welfare of other human beings. Now the question is, what then do we do as a student when we select our educational field? We have a lot of options, but we have limited knowledge or lack of information about these careers. And unfortunately, in undeveloped countries, there is no concept of career counseling on a big scale. We should train our students from the very beginning of their educational career about the different career options. And first of all, we have to give them the choices to choose the career according to their own interests, according to their abilities, according to their aptitudes, and they must keep into mind the current or future trends of job market. So, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? It means when you decide about a career and get started your education in that relevant field, you have to stuck or remain in that field throughout your remaining life. For example, you want to become a painter, you want to become a chef, you want to become an engineer, a doctor, a teacher, and a sportsman. Being a student must decide on the very early stage about what he wants to do with the rest of his life. It will give him the direction for the selection of appropriate career according to his abilities. Why select a career? Every person should keep in mind that question, that why select a career. The answer is that we have been created unique. For example, fingerprints. It means every person has some unique characteristics which are completely different from others. So when we are unique in our characteristics, then we should select our career or choose an occupation which is according to our uniqueness and which match best with our uniqueness or our unique characteristics. Second, we are born only once. Allah will not give us the second chance to born and fulfill our promises, fulfill our desires, fulfill our needs, wants, etc. So we have to spend our life, which is only given to us once in our life. We should plan appropriately that how we have to spend our life, and career selection is the most important factor of your life. If we do some calculations, then we must understand that we have to work approximately 40 years in our life. So 40 years, it is the big era or distribution of your entire life, especially when the average life expectancy is 60 or plus. If we calculate in hours, then we have to spend 80,000 hours in our career. Now ask yourself how you will spend these 80,000 hours before you die. It means if you have a proper planning or you select a career according to your personality, according to your interest, then it is very easy to spend these times in a profession. It will give you a sense of satisfaction, enjoyment, and accomplishment. On the other hand, if you are not able to select an appropriate career for yourself, then your entire life will be spent in anxiety, stress, and burnout, etc. Now we will discuss the career decision making process. It is a cyclic process and it is included the career decision making process. The context in which career decisions are commonly made is dynamic. Occupations are changing rapidly. Society is becoming increasingly complex and multicultural, and individuals need to plan for diverging rather than converging career paths. So, to meet the needs of the individual and to fulfill the demands of the society, The career decision making is very, very important. First option is exploring options. When you want to start or enter into the world of work, the first step is you should explore different options around you. Then you make a decision according to the available options which suits or relate best with your personality. After making decision or deciding about a career, you should make an action plan. You completely plan that how to proceed further, how to find a job, how to enter, and what to do for your career development. Then you evaluate your decision, that either you decide yourself and the career you select for yourself was suitable for you or not. And before doing all these things, you first discover yourself. Self-understanding, self-awareness is very necessary for the selection of an appropriate career. Step 1 for career development is discover yourself. Self-discovery means you should know about your interests, your values, skills, personality preferences, and strengths, etc. Then, what are 3 careers that interest me? You should keep in mind different options for a career so that you may select the best one for you. Then, what are the 3 college majors that I want to explore? Then you try to explore different colleges in which you can get education according to your desired career. Step 2 is exploring options. In this step, what to do? You should do that what information or individuals can help me to explore my college or career options. What classes or activities can help me to develop my strengths? How can I learn more about informational interviews, job shadowing, exploratory internship, service learning, civic honors, or student organizations to gain first-hand experience? Step 3 is making a decision. How much time and energy am I willing to invest to make a career decision? Who is part of my support system to help me evaluate the pros and cons of your career options? And you should decide the top priorities to consider for your decision about the selection of your career. Then step number 4, it is developing an action plan, which may include contracts between client and counselor that specify the next set of steps that will be taken by the client and how those steps will be evaluated and reported, and timelines or graphic action plans. Actually, a horizontal line is drawn across a page with the word now at the extreme left and the client's goal statement at the extreme right, and we put all the effort to achieve those goals, and we decide how to reach these goals. Step number 5 and the last step is evaluating the decision. Evaluation is very important component of any process. In this process of career development, we at the end evaluate our decision that either it was a realistic option or not. Is there anything preventing me from achieving my goals? What would it mean if I didn't have any barriers? Who in my support system can assist me with achieving this goal? In career guidance, or if we see the career cycle, there are 5 most crucial factors which influence your career progress, or you can say that these are the steps to progress. This life cycle is basically a path that makes some obtain his wishes, course, job, and location. At the end, if we conclude all our discussion which we have done in today's lecture, we must decide a career or choose a career according to our abilities, aptitude, interest, personality, or motivation. If we do so, then we definitely select a career which is beneficial for us and in which the career development chances are more. So we should decide a career or choose or select a career according to these parameters. Thank you.